Now let's switch gears and look at ratings. And this is pretty interesting because anytime we are trying to purchase any item from Amazon or any other online retailer, then we definitely check out what the ratings are for the product that we are interested to buy. And here, uh, this particular chart shows what fraction of what fraction of rating is assigned to the toys that are listed in those first 30 to 40 pages of the toys listings when we do a sort by featured for all the 10 categories that we are looking at in this data set. So uh, immediately we can see this a big chunk of red, which is 34% of the toys listed have ratings between 4 and 5. Then 28% have ratings between 3 and 4. So right here we have 50 plus 20 sorry 34 plus 28, so that's what 50. We have 162%. So we have 62% of the toys that have rating more than 3 stars. 31% is unknown. But then there are very few listings that show up in the first 30 to 40 pages that have rating less than 3. So it's just 7%. Maybe we don't know the unknown, so maybe that's something to keep in mind. But what based on what we have right here, uh, if you have if your listing has better rating, then the it's more likely that it'll show up in the search results. Now, just looking at the ratings is not the whole pictures, because I've seen some products that have a rating of 4.8, but then there are only maybe one or two customers who have rated that particular product. So uh, uh, it's probably also important to know how many people rated that particular product, and also then what is the overall rating of that product. And here we can see that almost half of the toys posted have less than 100 reviews. So let's see where that is in this case. uh, so this is 10 to 100 reviews, so that's 20%. And then we have less than 10, so that's 27%, so that's 47% right there. So 47% of the items listed uh, uh, have less than 100 reviews, and there are 1% of the toys that are listed have ratings of more than 100,000. Wow, that's a large number. And then we have 7% that have ratings between 1,000 to 10,000. 14% have ratings between 100 to 1,000. So that's interesting, because if a new product is to be sold on Amazon, then uh, higher the rating, better it is. But then you would want at least 100 customers to rate your product to show, I think, so that it starts showing up earlier in the search pages. That's what I'm thinking here. And after the 100 customers do rate the product, it should have rating of at least 3 plus. It's better if the rating goes above 4, but then it definitely has to be above 3. If it's below 3, then the chances that it'll show up seems to me that it'll be pretty low. Now, if we look at each of those segments of stars individually, if we look at these listings where the rating is less than, there's nothing less than 1, so let's call it equal to 1. We have 10 reviews, less than or equal to 10 reviews. So most of the ratings that have just 1 star assigned to the product have seem to have only up to 10 customers reviewing that product. If the number of stars is up to 2, let's say 1 to 2, then this would be 2. Then the number of ratings again is number of people rating that product is less than or equal to 10, pretty low. However, if you go above 2, so if you're looking at rating between 2 and 3, then vast majority still has vast majority of the listings are still rated by less than 10 customers, but you start getting some listings that are rated by 100 to 1000 customers or 10 to 100 customers, as we can see here. So this kind of shows the interest of customers in evaluating your product, or the uh, interest in kind of giving a feedback on how the product is that you have sold on Amazon. So lower rating, less interest in the product, and looks like they don't care even to put a rating on this. However, now if we start going above 3, here we have listing that has ratings between 3 and 4, and now we start seeing a sizable number of customers coming back and giving their reviews and feedbacks to the seller. So we have 40% of the 40% is a case where there are 10 to 100 reviews uh, by the customers, and there are now less. There are still 28% reviews uh, from less than 10 customers for a particular product. Earlier, we were looking at 83%. Now it has dropped down substantially to 28%. And we now start seeing 23% of the listings have more than 100 reviews. So up to 1,000 reviews that customers have given. So 1,000 customers coming back and saying this product is good. That's amazing. And even more, there are 9% cases, 9% listings of toys where that have 1,000 or more, 1,000 to 10,000 reviews posted. So that's pretty good. And now if we come into the range of above 4 to 5 ratings, then again we have 38% of the listings that have less than 10 reviews. This is what I was talking about. You have a higher rating, but then only few people have rated them. So that for that segment still exists. But then now in this case you have a 22% that has more than 100 reviews, and you have 14% that has more than 1,000 to 10,000 reviews, and you have this chunk that has increased. So 100,000, more than 100,000 reviews for a particular listing of a toy, that jumps to 2%. So the takeaway message from all these charts for rating seems to be that the higher the rating for a particular listing of a toy, chances are that more number of people also have rated that particular toy. And so if I have a listing on Amazon for a toy, and if I'm looking to get that toy closer to a bestseller, then what I need is not only a better rating, but then a better rating from a lot of people, at least 100 people rating that toy at a rating of more than 3, preferably above 4. Now, if we take a minute to just look at what the best sellers look like. So we filter out everything and we are just looking at best sellers. We are not looking at sponsored. We are not looking at the normal listings. We are looking at the listings that appear in the first 100 best sellers in each of the 10 categories that we have in this dataset for toys. And here we can see that 50 to 50% of the bestsellers, here 52% of the bestsellers have a rating of 4 plus. That's that's a very big thing. So that tells me that if there is a toy that I'm selling on Amazon, and it if it if that if I want that toy to be a bestseller in that category, then its rating has to be above 4 to give it uh, a better chance. And not only the rating has to be above 4, but as we'll see, the number of reviews are accompanying backing that rating should also be much higher. And there 40% of the ratings are above 3. So if the product has a rating below 3, very slim chance that it's going to be a bestseller. And as I said earlier, just the rating doesn't matter. It also has to be backed by how many people rated that product. So here we can see that 32% of the listings are backed by 100 to 1,000 reviews in bestseller toy products. And 37% are backed by 1,000 to 10,000 reviews. And of course, there are some 10, 17% that of the bestsellers only have 10 to 100 reviews. Still, 100 is pretty good, I'd say, but 10 would be on the lower side of that. So there are also best-selling listed toys that have less than 10 reviews, but they still are bestsellers. So that's also a possibility, as we can see. But again, this is uh, the bestseller picture changes, I think, hourly, if I read it correctly. So the product can be a bestseller for extended period of time, but then that listing gets updated. Uh, I think it gets updated hourly. So this picture that we see here might change when you try to look at the data yourself. But this proportion roughly may stay the same, as we can see. So bestseller item would need uh, at least 3 plus reviews. I'd say 4 plus is very good. And reviews, number of reviews should be 100 and more than 100. Greater than 1,000 is good, but at least 100 reviews, positive reviews. Now, again, looking at the breakout for ratings between 3 to 4 stars, here we can see that those ratings are backed by mostly 100 to 1,000 reviews, as we saw earlier. 34% reviews, 34% of the bestseller listings that have a rating of 3 to 4 stars are backed by at least 100 to 1,000 reviews, which is 34%, and 33% of such listings are backed by more than 1,000 up to 10,000 reviews, and there are a small fraction that are backed by more than 100,000 positive reviews, 100,000 reviews. So those could be uh, completely positive or slightly negative, but then they'll be within the range of 3 to 4. Now, if we come to the category of bestseller listings, which have a rating of between 4 and 5, now we see that most of the uh, listings are backed by 1,000 to 10,000 reviews by customers. So we have 44% of the listings that are uh, that have feedback from at least 1,000 customers. And then we have 32% of the listings that have feedback from 100 plus customers up to 1,000 customers. Again, in this category, we still see this 9% where the listing is a bestseller, but then it is backed by only 10 reviews. Uh, 10 reviews.